What happens on tour stays on tour. Daniel Ings and Matt Smith credit Netflix. If this disappointing episode proves one thing, it's that The Crown, like the family it depicts, thrives when its leading players are together. Unfortunately for Elizabeth in the show, Philip has parlayed his trip to the Melbourne Olympics into a 5-month jolly around the Pacific Islands with his chum, Michael Parker. It's all very picturesque, albeit blighted by glaringly obvious CGI, but there is an overbearing sense of what I did on my holidays. This is thanks to the postcards Park sends back to be read aloud by his chums in the Thursday Club. As such, the Duke and his chums, comrades lark around Australasia and the Pacific Islands, engaging in cricket matches and cattle wrangling to no particular end, all to a soundtrack of braying, intoxicated laughter. It's pretty grim stuff. Whether or not Philip did play away with the natives is left unclear. My interpretation is that he did, but perhaps Peter Morgan and co dared not court the wrath of a palace which, by all accounts, has been broadly favourable or at least neutral regarding the project. Philip's intentions, at least, are left in no doubt. When he summons comely blonde journalist Helen King for a one-to-one interview, it's clear that flirtation, at least, is on his mind. Predictably, he's roundly outmaneuvered by her flattery and fearlessness as she fires searching questions at him about his past, his sisters with Nazi sympathies, his parents' marital split, his mother's breakdown that quickly wipe the smirk from his face and leave questions hanging about his own parenting style. Matt Smith as Prince Philip credit Alex Bailey. Eileen Parker, meanwhile, having caught wind of her husband's misadventures and got her hands on epistolary evidence courtesy of a waitress at the Thursday Club, sues for divorce. With Michael Parker on the same tour as Philip, the implications for the Crown are at best awkward. Which is as well, because ultimately, it's hard to care about the state of a marriage between characters we barely know. This is not to fault Chloe Peary or Daniel Ings, who are just fine as the Parkers, but the issue of divorce and its taboo nature was pretty comprehensively covered in the previous series, courtesy of Peter Townsend. At least all this nonsense brings back Tommy Lascelles, the nearest thing to a villain in the first series, but here more of a knight in shining armor for a monarchy, and, in Wilkins Michael Ledeen, a private secretary in serious need of pragmatic guidance. Left out in the cold, Claire Foy credit Stuart Hendry. Pip Torrens is once again as marvelous as his none more Edwardian mustache, unwaveringly serious in his sense of duty and willingness to tell truth to power when required. Two things are becoming clear. First, how central the spark between Elizabeth and Philip is to creating compelling drama together. They're fascinating, but apart they can look two-dimensional. Secondly, the importance of the older cast members in the first series is hitting home. Without the heft and experience of Eileen Atkins, John Lithgow and in particular Jared Harris, The Crown feels a little lightweight. Matt Smith's vigour is admirable. It's an enjoyable performance blending military fraternity with Playboy sparkle, but it's not quite enough. The Crown cast and characters where before Morgan's touch was light at its best, now a few sledgehammers are being wielded. Philip calls home, Elizabeth can hear him, but he can't hear her. Communication breakdown. Philip relearns the meaning of family by watching a Tongan. Rescued at sea, reunited with his own relatives. Philip delivers an off-the-cuff Christmas message musing on solitude. Yes, we get it. Relegated to the sidelines, meanwhile, is the geopolitical shambles of Suez. A broken-looking Eden declares a ceasefire, retreating from the illegal war in Suez and then temporarily from public life on doctor's orders. Expect more on this breaking story next time. By the end, the royal marriage looks to be back on track. The Crown, however, is in danger of going off the rails.